Hey y'all, Ms. B, and I'm here to talk about Love Story. I have been watching Love Story on Hulu about JFK Jr. and Carolyn Bessette since it started. I've been obsessed with it. I love the 90s, I love the 90s era, and I'm going to be cognizant that these people are now deceased. But based on the show and what we're seeing on the show, which, some things are made up, for dramatization of a series, I'm going to give critiques. So, like, the season opens up with Carolyn being this independent, working at Calvin Klein, 90s baddie. Like, she was giving Sarah Jessica Parker before Sarah Jessica Parker in Sex and the City was giving Sarah Jessica Parker. Carrie Bradshaw, aka. Anyway, and he also dated Sarah Jessica Parker too. So, long story short, we go through the episodes. She kind of shuns him, like, nigga, I don't really want to, I don't really want to be with you like that. Like, I don't want to be up in this world, this life. And as you see JFK Jr. before his mom passes, even though he's this huge celebrity, he's okay with the paparazzi following him. He's okay with, his life being like all over the media, even when he flunked the bar, and him constantly being compared to his dad and being like the most eligible bachelor. And she kind of like this normal girl from I think she was from Connecticut. I can't remember. Anyway, either way, she lived in New York, and she was just living like that single girl lifestyle. Then they made each other. Long story short, they start dating. Eventually, he woos her. They start dating. I'm gonna skip ahead into last week's episode, which is the wedding. And I remember doing it short, and I was like, I loved the love that was portrayed between these actors who are portraying these real people that actually live this love life. It was like beautiful. The wedding, how they had it on their own terms. It was no Kennedy wedding. There was no politics. There was no pomp and circumstance on some island I never even knew existed in Georgia. Child, and I live down south. And then we get into this episode, which is I forgot what to write it down. The most recent one. The one that came out March 12th. And I want to say all of the things that JFK promised Carolyn Bessette as far as the paparazzi, being in the public eye, security, he didn't really protect her, to me. And I say that because she's crouched in the counter on the floor in one scene reading an article about herself because they made her the villain. And I remember, I vaguely remember back in these days, I was young, but I vaguely remember seeing them on freaking every news article there was. And I'm like, why are they chasing them around? And if you've ever been to New York, it's really, really hard to find celebrities in New York because how it is structured. That's why a lot of people say, like, celebrities will go to New York to, like, hide off or whatever. You'll see them there. But, like, they were haunting her and making her out to be like this horrible person. And to me, I was like, at that moment, he should have went into like instant husband mode. Let's get a security detail. I do understand this is the early 90s, mid 90s. Like, having heavy security detail wasn't a thing. But you're fucking John F. Kennedy Jr. You're a Kennedy, my nigga. Okay? You could have got some security detail where you could walk out your apartment. Your wife can walk out her apartment. She can go have lunch with her sister and not have people taking pictures of them. Just like we see today. When you see Beyonce and all of them get out of the car, you might see the side of their face or a blurry ass picture of them in a restaurant. That's all you're going to see. And now, again, I know it was different times. But with that being said, the technology wasn't even the same. There was no social media. So, like, they literally had to be out there with an actual, like, camera taking a picture. Well, there's no phone or, like, Like, I feel like he didn't go on husband protection mode. And they're showing us him being a little immature for his age and a little naive. with the way he handles things, like with the magazine, with the, you know, with the paparazzi, with the press, everything. I think he really leaned on his mother a lot, and you could tell that after his mother was no longer here, there was a void there that he couldn't really feel or get advice from. Like, his mother would sit there and talk to him, and I remember her saying in the previous episodes, like, there's nobody equipped that's going to be able to handle this type of lifestyle and be okay with it. You know why? Because she was Jackie Kennedy Onassis, and she lived it, and she knew how hard it was for her. So imagine a girl that just worked at Calvin Klein's showroom. It's going to be even more harder for her. She didn't know her at the time, but I'm just saying, he was a dating actress and stuff. But it's like he didn't go into, he had like a immature naivete about him. He just kept saying it's gonna blow over, and I just feel like he didn't protect her. Like, I would have had a whole detail, like, I want parameters blocked off. They lived in Tribeca. You can go see where they actually lived. They lived in Tribeca. Block this street off. Block this street off. Make sure that she's able to go wherever she wants to go. I need men standing around, and I know that's like, you know, living in a way you don't want to live. You want your freedom, but what do you want your freedom? You gonna be hounded like a animal. It was one part of the show where she was in the doggone, they went to a party and he lost her hand, and she was like, I can't see. Like, I don't feel like he protected her enough, and he was just, they gave it off like he was very naive, very immature, very stuck in a world that he was accustomed to, but didn't really click it that, hey, I'm getting with somebody that's not used to this. Let me put some boundaries in place. Let me put some protocols in place. Let me put some, you know, some boundaries, protocols, standards, things that the media can't say. Like how he cut off at one point of the show, his brother-in-law is about to do a documentary on their dad, JFK, and he cut it. The power that he had in his hand just to cut a documentary, he couldn't, like, why he didn't have that same power or use that same power to protect his wife? I'm not blaming him. I just said that, like, I feel like there was just like a lot of naivete and a lot of him just being so accustomed to, like, this is just the way the world is, and it's really not. I also want to know, why was his sister such a bitch? And she's still alive. Carolyn Kennedy, why were you so mean to that lady? Like, you were nasty. But I get, like, he picked an outsider. He picked someone that wasn't from an upper echelon, you know, in that political space or whatever. He picked a regular person. But honestly, if you do your research on Carolyn Bessette, she was very smart. Her mom was a teacher. Like, if you go back, like, they were saying, like, the Bessette family was, like, some type of very high aristocrat in Canada and all this. Like, she wasn't really this regular smuggler. Remember when they were sitting at dinner at that time, she started speaking Italian to Carolyn Kennedy's husband. And I'm like, you know, she still wasn't regular, but she was regular. A regular for a Kennedy. Let's be clear. You know, like how when they went to Martha's Vineyard and met Ethel Kennedy, and how they were talking about politics at the table, and how, you know, she was just like out of her element. Like, some things he just didn't prepare her for. And I want to just understand, you know, if you see your wife balling up in a corner and, you know, crying over a magazine, you know, about all these things they're saying, true, not true, all of her business, she can't leave the house, she's been locked up, she's the villain in this story that, you know, the media is painting, why not use some of your legroom? Like, forget George and protect her. Also, he promised her he wouldn't go into politics. We now know he's finna run off against Hillary Clinton to become senator of New York. And she asked him before they got married, are you interested in politics? Are you interested in being president? Him becoming a senator was going to be the next step up at the White House was going to be coming. Okay? Or close to it. Her mama tried to tell her, girl, like, this is all he know. He is supposed to be the second part of Camelot. Anyway, I want to know your thoughts on Love Story. I love the show. I love 90-esque. I love the way Ryan Murphy always does a 90-esque theme song, the songs, the music. But this last episode, I was like, trouble, like, what are the barriers in place to protect this woman? Her mental, her physical. Any of them paparazzi can be absolutely insane and like run up on her. Look what happened to Princess Diana. Like, they were deceased in 1999. What happened to Princess Diana? Did she become deceased in 1998 because of the paparazzi? Like, why? Like, why would he not put any barriers in place? I don't understand that part. Even his naivete even went so far as not recognizing that his cousin Anthony Razville, who we know, his mother married to the Razvilles from the UK. He was actually a prince. Was sick. His cousin was like, "Oh no, I'm good." Like, you could clearly tell the nigga wasn't okay. Like, his reading the room wasn't there. I don't think he would have been a good politician. He would just probably been a good politician based off his name and who his mom and dad was. But anyway, I just wanted to get here. I did a short form content, but I wanted to get on here and talk about just the most recent episode, March 12th. I didn't write down the name. I think it's episode 6. I think it is. Of the Carolyn Bessette, them coming home from their beautiful, beautiful romantic wedding to a back to a jungle where I don't feel like, again, I keep repeating this, his manly instincts didn't kick in, his husband instincts. I think he had good intentions, but like, you a Kennedy. Like he said on one scene of, I forgot which episode, if he didn't show up to so-and-so's wedding, that Uncle Ted was going to get the Navy SEALs to go find him. Like, why you couldn't have that type of security for your wife? Or that type of protection for her? Like, her therapist information getting leaked. Like, I don't understand it. I know we got more to watch this episode, and it's loosely based on their life, and they're no longer here. Even, y'all, even them flying without an instructor, and he wasn't a trained pilot or very experienced in flying. It's just back to that naivete mindset that I keep mentioning over and over again. But I won't be redundant and keep repeating myself. Anyway, if y'all watch Love Story, let me know your thoughts. Tell me what you think. This is probably the only long form content I'm gonna do. I maybe do shorts. And tell me all y'all thoughts. Is anybody else watching this? I love it. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. Ryan Murphy, chef's kiss as always. He always does a good job. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and let me know. Bye.